All right, can you see me? Time Geordies, forever Geordies. There we go. Hey, guys. Are you tired of winning? You know what? Mislav summed it up best when he said, if you had a magic wand, or you had the electoral result that we just saw, don't you think you picked the electoral result that you just saw? I don't think that I could do a better one. I wouldn't trust myself to make a better outcome. I couldn't have done it. It just keeps getting better. I mean, the reason that we're here is... Oh, guys, I just got to tell you right now, it's really embarrassing to admit. Oh, man. The meme was when Labor won on the election eve, everyone just kept texting, being like, how hard are you coming? And I was like, yeah, pretty hard. But, oh, my God, I blew the fattest nut when Adam Bandt lost his seat. Oh, my God, what a cherry on top. Oh, you know what was happening? I was watching it, and I can't believe that I'm admitting this, but I had full body orgasm. I know what it's like to be a woman now. It's like, oh, hook it to my veins. Oh, I can't get any better than that. Oh, man. Oh, I nutted so hard. All right, hang on. Let's just for glory time's sake, we're just going to have to watch. We're going to have to watch, aren't we? I'll take phones, like we'll do all the super chats and all that in a sec, but just for now. Oh. Okay. It's just because it just happened, we got to watch. All right. Because you just know the most fair and balanced out of all of them is going to be Sky News. They're not going to be able to hold the one thing that we can all kumbaya together. Adam Bandt lost his seat. Are we on 93 seats now? Man, that 93rd was the sweetest victory of all. Yeah, this one needs to be 18 plus. Oh, there's going to be a lot of nutting in this one. All right. Let's find it. Oh, boys. Holy shit. I can't handle it. Where is it? There. There's my little nerd friend right there. All right, let me just go into full screen. Oh, my God.
Been several seats on a knife edge since Saturday night. We're joined now by our chief election analyst, Tom Connell. Tom, you've got some breaking news. I understand you are now prepared to call another critical seat. What have you got?
I am. Look, I've been agonising over this one. It's a bit of an...
Oh, look at them. They're all so happy. Oh, good times are getting had by all. Get ready.
Unusual seat, and that's why. It's the seat of Melbourne. As you can see here, right now, the margin 2.7%. We know the Greens leader, Adam Bandt, holds it. Here's the equation. So right now, we've got nearly 70% of primary candidate. He's on 40.3%. He needs about 33% of the preferences other than Labor. So it's Greens versus Labor. He needs 33% from the rest of the parties to be able to be 50-50. What's happening so far? He's not getting that, and he's getting significantly below that. When we look right now how this is splitting, and actually we're further progressed in the count. We're more like 38% now, but this is the figure, 52.7 to 47.3. So the issue for Adam Bandt is he's 1,700 behind, and the way this is splitting, he's going to be at least 3,000 behind. Now, it might be more. The first preferences were breaking 22% only for him. It's been better today, but currently they're only breaking at about 26%. Even if we up that to 28, 29, which would be ambitious, he would still be 3,000 behind. So 3,000 plus behind once we catch up to this figure here, 69.3%. Right, so that's his margin. What happens from there? We do still have some postal votes left, and they are not helping him. The way this postal's splitting at the moment, as we can see, 63.39 to Labor. Now, the rest of the postals left, there aren't a lot, but there are a few thousand. Even if we wind that back, let's say they split at about 60-40, that's another 600 you'd have to catch up. What vote is there left? I've been saying this over the last couple of days. There is a big amount of this other vote called absent. This is great. There's nothing in here yet, and it's a lot of vote. It's 14,000 votes in total. That gave us some issue with calling this before we saw it. However, we know how absent votes generally behave. They usually perform about on the same as the on-the-day vote for the Greens. So, if that's the case, we're talking Adam Bandt at best in those 50-50. Now, even if he possibly has an increased performance in absent, funny things happen, what would he need? This is how we stress test it. What would he need in the remaining absent votes to be able to win? 63%. That is just far too high an outperformance from everything else that has happened in this election. So we're assuming lots of positives for Bandt from here, and he still would need 63%. So given that, I know there's plenty of vote left. We are now saying the Labor Party will pick up the seat of Melbourne, and Adam Bandt, the Greens leader, will lose the seat of Melbourne.
And Tom, that's obviously a devastating blow.
Oh, yes, it is. It's a devastating blow for me too. Too much blowing. Oh, I'm tired of blowing. Oh my God. Oh. Play obstructionist games, you get obstructionist prizes. That's exactly it, Dylan. He's called it. Much like Sky News has called it for Sarah Whitty. Go, son. Oh, man. Oh. Sorry, we'll continue on, but it's too sweet. Oh, my mouth. Oh, I feel like I'm eating too many lollies. Okay, this is very naughty. We should stop. Oh.
The Greens, I mean, they lost those seats in Queensland, and then we're going to be looking at new leadership for the party as well going forward.
They will be. There's one possibility still. If we remind ourselves where we are overall, this is before the election. They had 4 seats. We look now, right now, they're on 0.
Yep,
they are still the clear favourites from where
I can't keep going. No, it hurts. It hurts. I've come too much. Oh, and Ryan's not looking good for him either, boys. Oh, man, look at that beautiful sight. And it's gotten better since then. It's now on 93, called for Labor. Oh, my God. Oh, yeah, no. Etheric Gaming, like, just in case you've just tuned in and you have. Oh, man. Yeah, he's out. Sorry, I'll go to some of the super chats. All right, what have we got here? Geordies, I gotta stay gaming. Don't focus on no girls, but do give us an Abby Chatfield roast video. I already know you have access to Grind since you tried to cancel your girlfriend. Dude, I'll do it when she's recovered, let's say. Oh, how good is it as well, just being in the Labor Party and losing election after election? A lot of it because of these exact cunts that have just been wiped off the map. Oh, look at that beautiful cleansing. Oh, I've never felt so clean. I've never felt so clean. Now the winged merchants will preach to the choir. Behold, the Tyranids have stopped Dutton. Yes, you made Labor look great in comparison. Very good point, Jaden. Oh, that is so true. Oh, man, I feel like one of those fat women that's eating too much chocolate. I really should stop. But it's so good. Geordies, I made 106 paid wedge plate with every Albanese Labor government achievement. Was that you? Was that you, Cook? Share if you think it's valuable. It's called Albastese. Son, sorry. I just found out about that a couple of days ago and was just like, why didn't I know about this before the election? Cook, my boy, shout out to it. Albastese is honestly an incredible resource, and you're just going to keep updating it, aren't you? Just endlessly. These are all their achievements. Stop saying they're not ambitious enough. Oh, my God. Oh, man. God, I've been in a high... Guys, I don't know about you, but have you just felt unbelievably happy for the last... I've never felt this happy. I can't remember the last time I felt joy. Definitely not since I've been focusing on politics. I'll tell you that. 2022, I thought, Jesus, we just scraped in. That was an absolute miracle. And if we just scraped in when Scott Morrison had the bushfires, Christ, I'm so scared about the next election. That's what I was thinking on election day. I was scared on election day. I am so happy now. And the weirdest thing is, everyone I speak to is happy too. Everyone is exuberant about it. We'll continue on. Can't wait for the rebuttal of some Widge merchants post-election. Oh, that'll come. Don't you worry. That will come. Man, again, I'm telling you, it is just ethnic cleansing season after this. It is just the wipeout. It's so beautiful. Don't you love to see it? I'm in America. I'm a conservation professional, and I can't say how excited I am for you and jealous as considering moving over there, especially now. Welcome. You're open for business. You won't be treated like you're a bloody leper now. They might actually give you a job in our government because they seem to respect science all of a sudden. Oh, man. Thank you. Thank you for your support from the States. As a Labor household in Brisbane, can anyone attest that my husband has been very happy since election night? Dutt plug losing his seat is like being on pingers ever since it happened. Guys, not just Dutton, Adam Bandt. 2 for 1. 2 ciggies for the price of 1. We did it. I can't believe it. 2 of the worst people in Parliament by a mile. Out they go. Don't let the door hit you on your way out. Bye. Oh my God, I can't stop looking at that map. And the thing is, the map has gotten way better since. It's another 5 seats. Holy hell. Can you explain why there's a general consensus that Victoria isn't doing too well and that federal ALP distance themselves from the ALP despite the landslide win in Victoria? Oh, it's just because they're on the nose in Victoria because it's an old government. It's an old, tired government there. People want something new. People are pissed off. Like, it just, Jacinta just doesn't have the same, the magic sauce that Daniel Andrews had. Daniel Andrews, again, is one of those, like, boss freak good premiers that is very hard. Imagine being the follow-up to Daniel Andrews. Christ. That's mostly what that's about. Let me just keep going. If you'd like to dance on the Greens' grave more, maybe worth putting out a video looking into their whining about preference flows. Oh my God. Guys, have you seen that? So good. Okay. The whole argument that the Greens always put forward is, you just don't know how preferences work. You just have to know how preferences work, and then we'll win like all 150 seats. Let's just do a current tally of how many seats they have. Oh, that's right, 0. They have 0 seats. That's right. Thanks for the check-in there, Sky News. The whole argument is always just prefaced on the fact that we just have to educate the population about preferences. And so you see all these insufferable TikTok videos about, did you know that in Australia, it's not like America, and like if you don't put a 1 next to them, like your vote still counts, guys, we need to chill out. We need to talk to you about how preferences work. It's the most smug, condescending shit you could ever imagine in your life. Like not even the most illiterate peasant in Australia doesn't know how preferences work. Yeah, that's always what they're endless. They've convinced themselves. Preference flows. That's what's going to get us over the line. As soon as the preferences don't work in their favour, because lo and behold, no one likes them apart from their little cult 12% of the population. Everyone else despises them. I'm like everyone else, Labor, Liberal supporters, they're all in the same boat. I'd rather it go to a Liberal than the Greens. I'd rather it go to Labor than the Greens. And so they preference them above the Greens. All of a sudden they throw a massive tantrum about how preferences are rigged against them. Now they're saying that this is how they're coping with it. The only reason I lost my seat, this was Max Chandler-Mather. Oh, I just cummed again. Max Chandler-Mather's gone. I forgot about that. Oh, Christ. We're going to have to watch that one after this. Oh, goodbye, you abnormally freakish Easter Island long-headed cunt. God, I'm glad I'm never going to have to see you again after your farewell concession speech. But anyway, that's what they are massively whinging about now. It's just like all of a sudden. Actually, if you think about it, it's actually preferences that got me out. Not considering at all, never mentioning once that his vote went backwards, that the Greens' vote went backwards. While they're sitting there saying, oh yeah, we're going to win like 20, what was it again? We're going to win like 9 seats this election, guys. We're going to win 9. Sorry, just one more. Please let it stay like that forever. Please. Man, if they have one seat, if they get one seat, they're up there with the Keating highs of the Centre Alliance and the Canada Australia Party. You couldn't be more. Oh my God, that's so fringe. Like, no one even knows what the Centre Alliance is. Apparently, Max Chandler-Mather was writing about how bad Parliament was, and that it was all very mean. The copious amounts of cope is spectacular. That it is. That's what we like to see. Hey, if anybody wants me to go look at anything that the Greens have done, I'm more than happy to do it. More than happy. Hang on. Bye, Adam. Bye, Peter. Thank you very much for the $100. Welcome that into my bank account, baby. Thank you. Wasn't it nice? Bye, Adam. Bye, Peter. Oh, man. You know, look, I felt like Peter Dutton losing. I'm glad he lost, but man, I'm sad that he lost by that. But that is humiliating. That is crushing. At some point in the vote count, I was like, okay, he's learned his lesson. Let's just start. It just kept going down and down. It got to the point where I felt sorry for the guy. Raising a toast to the division of Melbourne for voting out the politician equivalent of pedestrian. That's what I like to hear, Timmy. Timmy knows what's up. That's what we want to hear. All right. Oh, God. If he does his concession speech, if Adam Bandt does his concession speech while we're on, that would just be a cherry on top of a cherry. Reading Revolt of the Elites is so useful for understanding the Greens and Teals, etc. These parties just represent post-materialism haves who vote based on their who validates their own narcissism. Aiden, I couldn't have put it better myself. You have summed it up perfectly. As absolutely right. Read Revolt of the Elites. That gives you exactly the mindset of the Green, and that is exactly why I hate them more than I hate Liberal voters, because at the end of the day, Liberal voters are voting on the real world. It is, I swear, like a huge portion of people that vote for the Liberals are getting duped. A huge portion, probably the majority. But at the end of the day, that party is delivering results for its real constituents, which is the elites. Like, they are actually tangibly tethered to the real world. The Greens, One Nation, all the rest of your minor parties, the Teals, not. Not at all. Not linked to it whatsoever. It is just a bunch of narcissists. This is why the Liberal Party is eating itself at the moment. In fact, I'll get onto that in a second. Do a GTA 6 reaction to the trailer. All right, yeah, fuck it. Well, we've got the $20 while we're just waiting for other things to do. Yeah, we'll do a GTA 6 reaction. If that's even the one coming out. You really have to understand, I do not play video games. I wish I did. I wish I had the time. Let me see. Jesus Christ, 254 million views. All right, we'll just have a quick look at this here. Oh, damn, dude.
Lucia.
Vice City? Are they going back to Vice City?
You know why you're here. Bad luck, I guess.
Yay!
There was a girl I knew. She said she cared about me. She tried to make my world the way she thought it should be. Yeah, we were desperate then to have each other to hold, but love is a long, long road. Yeah, love is a long, long.
Well, look who's back. The only way we're gonna get through this is by sticking together, being a team. Trust?
Trust.
Yeah, dude, I'll say it. It does look sick. It does look pretty amazing. I mean, all Grand Theft Auto games are, aren't they? I mean, you know, I'm a bit of a Miami Vice man myself, but is that still cool? Is that still awesome? The PlayStation 2 one. That's honestly when I stopped doing it. But yeah, it looks sick. It does. Good on anybody that starts playing that religiously. Peter Credlin already on damage control. Oh, if you knew the numbers are not as big as you would think, blah, blah, blah. Voter turnout's only 77%. Yeah, of course, turnout is low at the moment. Haven't finished counting the... Haven't even finished counting the votes. I can see Susan Lee living in Vice City on our taxes, of course. So can I. And frankly, I think she's earned it at this point. She's been out there since 2001. She's a senior citizen. Just go. I was in Davero Rodeo, Dixon, with my kids and started asking around at the election. So many of the country folks voted against Dutton solely because of the cyclone and him being absent. Sick. That is a real... Country people hate that, don't they? It's just like, you weren't there, mate. You weren't there. That's it. That was a very, very bad tactical move on Peter Dutton's end. Oh my God, there were so many bad tactical moves. This just feels good, doesn't it? It just like... doesn't matter what anyone does or what anyone says. Like, it's just really... Isn't it nice just being on such a high that everyone else screaming and throwing a tantrum on Sky News and Twitter? It's just like, oh, this is all shadows projected on the cave. These people are Plato's cave. This is not the average person. So good. I convinced two workmates to vote Labor by offering them 6-packs. Please interview Tism now or get me a girlfriend. Oh, yeah, Dougie. Dougie, how you been going with your little girlfriend search, eh? Oh, if anybody... Look, shout out to Dougie. Dougie seems like a nice guy. If you're a girl, have sex with him. Why not? I mean, come on, let's all celebrate together by doing one of these. Yeah? I mean, it's just... Look, I'm planning to go on maths. At least bring back maths reviews, please. Maybe I might, Dougie. Maybe I might. I mean, I've really got nothing else to talk about for the next 3 years. All I've got to do is just sit there, rub in the faces of all the Greens that you suck, and then that's it. Talk about the Greens being out of touch with reality, yet you played the wrong GTA trailer. What do you want from me? I'm on a high here. You're killing my buzz. I live in the USA, and now seeing the crying from Sky News A is feeding my soul right now. Oh, it is so good. All right. That's it. We'll watch Max Chandler-Mather's confession speech, and then we'll move on to some Sky News crying afterwards. Where was it? Here's my... he's done it on his election disappointment, Max Chandler. All right, well, there's a couple that we're going to have to watch. Poor old Max Dave.
Perhaps the one negative.
Isn't it just so good knowing that you're never going to hear that annoying nasally voice ever again? Perhaps tonight. It's like, man, I sound like I have a cold all the time. You sound like you've got bronchitis. 3 more years. Congratulations, Friendly Jimmies. Have a good one. Celebrating all around. Thank you. Thank you very much. How do I get a job in Future Made in Australia? I don't know, man. You a tradie? Thing is, this has got to get rolled out now. This is what I'm so... Guys, this is what I'm so happy about. This has brought us not just the next election, the election after that. I'm telling you now, with somebody with a flawless election prediction trajectory. But it's just... You don't get back from that in one term. It doesn't happen. Unless you do, like, real Campbell Newman screw-up stuff. Like, you push it way too far. Yeah, no, you're good. Let me just watch this. Hang on. We've got to watch.
Negative feeling I really have at the moment is I feel like I've let a lot of people down.
Yeah, I'm sure. Look at him. He's so butt. Oh my God. Dude, he looks dejected. He's got the face. Oh, eat shit. Oh, good. And the thing is, as well, it's just like, I'm so glad about all the people that he's let down as well. That's the best part. All of them. It's again what we were talking about before. Anybody that votes for the Greens, post-materialism. These are people that do not rely on the government for anything, and so in their minds, it is perfectly fine blocking domestic violence victims and homeless people from having their houses being built so that you can grandstand for media attention. This is perfectly fine in their heads because they can't even imagine being homeless. They're impossible for them to do. They're that narcissistic. If you've got nothing to talk about for 3.5 years, find out whatever the fucking Ron Hitler Basu and Humphrey B. Flubbert live Proverbs Springvale. What? And give some good airtime. Get them onto the Friendly Geordies lexicon. I don't know why I don't have a girlfriend. Dougie. There's a little thing called the apps. Get on it. Get horny. It's incredible how everybody wins on that stuff. You will do it. Trust me. Adam Bandt blocked all of Labor's legislation, so the people of Melbourne blocked him from retaining his seat. It's been a good few days for sure. My dad, who voted Liberals, is a swing voter and can't understand why. I'm happy that Labor won. He's hoping for Labor in 2028 and 2031. It's just weird, isn't it? Like, look, honestly, I know people, not just Liberals, Teals, Independents, Greens even. Lots of Greens that are just like, I'm so happy about that result. It's like, well, why didn't you vote for it, you idiots? It's so strange. Like, they were all over the moon about this thumping majority for Labor. It was incredible. Sorry, I just had to crunch something there. All right. Let me see what else I've got. Spare a thought for Stephen Bates, the other Green, who nobody knew existed until he was the other Green who lost. It's so true. Yes. Yes. And there'll still be whatever her name is that needs to go. I don't even know who the old Bandt is. Do you? Former retail worker and is the IRL embodiment of the Simpsons fast food testy blowout team. You guys are killing it. Oh, you're such a... Oh, man, the winning streak continues with your calls. Oh.
Why do you think you've let them down?
Ah! It's the comment. And look at them. They're both so sad. Sucked. I didn't realize this was hack. Oh, this feels so good. Oh, that balding ginger cunt. Just as sad. Look at the dejection on their faces. Oh, that moment when you realize no one in Australia likes you. Oh, man.
Because I think, because of one, we help build a lot of...
Jesus, he's so sad. It's only making me happier, Max. Oh!
hope, and then we lost in Griffith. And
yeah, see, that's the whole thing. Well, honestly, what's happened is they've convinced themselves in their head that we were going to win 9 states. That's it. And then they weren't paying attention at all to the ground game. Like, guys, you know why Adam Bandt lost his seat? Do you understand that? It's because he had the hubris to think that he didn't have to campaign in his own seat properly. That's what he thought. He was like, oh, that's not a DJ party. I never think I'm cool. You with your DJing skills. Yes, that wasn't cringe at all. First time catching a live after watching a vid convince everyone to vote Labor to boot Potato Dutton. That is what I like to hear. Good boy. Good boy. Dude, yeah, all right. After this, we will watch some Paul Murray crying, and we'll... Oh, man, it's just... Oh, you know what else we need to watch as well? Sorry, now that I'm thinking about it. We need to watch... my good friend from Red Thread, Jackson, apparently just sent me a bunch of tweets of people having meltdowns. Let's watch. Yeah, losers taking a fat L. Oh, I can't move it on. This sucks. All right. Hang on. Sorry. Yeah, we will continue on with this then. In lieu.
Ultimately, I have to take responsibility for that. In Griffith, it became impossible to overcome the combined Liberal and Labor vote. But those are the conditions in which we're operating in, and we're operating against often very hostile two major parties.
It's incredible, isn't it? It's just, dude, I love the cry bully mentality of them. It's so good. This is the most egregious thing about Greens to me in my mind is just like their psychology is I get to shit on the majors, anyone that doesn't agree with me endlessly, and as soon as someone shits on them, they immediately start having a sook. They immediately start crying. Isn't it incredible just sitting there just being like, the hostile majors? What? Like everybody else isn't hostile to everybody else in Parliament. It's just you, is it? That's the only that you're the only victim here. It's just, you're allowed to be as mean and obstructionist and like just using the most rat-like parliamentary tactics for 3 years straight. Anybody does the same thing on you. How could this happen? I'm perfect. My mum told me so. Saw a video talking about most of our prime ministers were only opposition leader for a short time before winning. Longer in the harder it is to get elected and all of that. Yeah, that is the general conventional wisdom. That's general. Look, there's people that have definitely bucked that trend before. Like, I mean, would you count Howard as being like a long-time opposition leader? I would. We all just watched Geordie's orgasm live on stream, and I gotta say I'm right there with you. Yeah. Monskis, it was... wasn't it beautiful? Wasn't it just the most magical evening? Tonight, I'm sorry, I know that I've used this analogy before, but it is the cherry on top. It's just like, just when you think it couldn't get any better, Adam Bandt loses his seat as well. Bam, down goes that annoying little middle management cunt that should have never gotten out of like an H&R Block job. All right, here we go. Hey, Jordan, did Mr. E pass on the Dutt Plug election celebration art? Does Peter Dutton as a butt plug ring a bell? Yes, it does. What's your point about that? Mr. E passed on the Dutt Plug election celebration art. I don't know. Look, I'll talk to Mr. E soon. I'll talk to him soon. I'll talk to him in a little bit. I want to see what he has to say. Trumpeter Patriot, Sullen writes, I'm blocking all her social media after blowing up everyone's phone for the last 3 weeks is peak irony. I did not know that was happening. No, sir, I did not know that was happening. Okay, let's just continue on.
Like my time in Parliament, I'll be honest, one of the things I'm quite happy about at the moment is I don't have to spend more time in the House of Representatives.
Such a sook. And he's just such a narcissist as well. Like, dude, he's going on national radio to talk about how he feels. His feelings. He's having a therapy session on our tax time. And he thinks it's perfectly fine. Look at him. He's so defeated and deflated. Because this is the other thing about narcissism, right? Like, that type of person, when the bubble actually does pop, it pops hard. They are so upset when it happens because they just cannot imagine a universe where things aren't going their way endlessly. So this is what you're looking at right now. An extremely deflected person blaming everybody else except him. How everybody else was so mean and nasty to him and he was so nice to everybody. And also, remember, this is the guy that kept homeless people out of a house for a year and a half. And he feels sorry about himself because people in Parliament were mean to him for keeping them out of the house. It was direct. This was the housing spokesperson. This was his grand plan. And the other thing is, he knows that his strategy going forward for the Greens blew up in his face. He is absolutely responsible for the Greens' demise. It's on him. So thank you, Max. Thank you for showing everybody what awful pricks you are.
Representatives, because like basically every time I stood up I got screamed and yelled at. Like in terms of a workplace, it was bloody awful and frankly a lot of the times miserable. And the only reason I kept going back because it felt like we were one of the few voices fighting for more for millions of people who feel really let down by this political system and get a bit sick and tired of being told the only thing they can hope for is scraps. But
just realised Maximilian Two Dads looks like if Beavis worked in sales. Hot yoga studio. Luke, you can't do this to me. You got to stop making me happy. Please. Please, you can't. I can't handle it. I can't handle laughing too much. Oh, man. Sucked in. Oh, my God. That's such a good burn. If only we knew about it 3 months before, 3 years before, sorry. Luke, that is so on point. I'm sorry. Let's all just give Luke a big round of applause. Maximilian, Two Dads, looks like if Beavis worked in sales for a hot yoga studio. Ain't it the truth? Ain't it the truth? Can't wait for cattle parties super majority in 2028. Oh, we could only hope, my friend. I've been an ALP member since Nathan Reezy in New South Wales. Damn, DJ, yeah, nah, far out. I'm sad that Bridget Archer is out for the Tas Libs. She was a hint of possible good opposition, but hell yeah, doggy, we're up. Dude, you can't be mad at Tasmania. You can't. Tasmania is the new WA. All Labor across the board. Holy hell, sea of red. Oh my God, we really should have called this stream the Red Wedding, shouldn't we? It's the Red Wedding.
I suppose despite all of that and fighting hard, we fell short. And I feel like I've let people down because I always feel like at the end of the day, the MP has to take responsibility for that. And I suppose I do.
and like, I guess that's me. I suppose I do. Like, I guess, whatever. Yeah, it might be somewhat my fault that we lost. It's entirely Max's fault. It is entirely Max's fault. The Greens have always been an extremely awful outfit, filled with opportunistic ferrets. But he gave them a face. Did you notice this? Did you notice that people that absolutely shouldn't have lost their seat, like Adam Bandt, did? Why is that? Because he got more media attention. I swear to God, that's what it is. People look at Adam Bandt, they look at Max Chandler-Mather, and they realise that's what the Greens are? Guys, you're supposed to be a brand. You're supposed to be just this nebulous brand of like, we're making Labor better. We're the Labor Plus Party. But like, don't show them who you are. Don't show them who you are. You're all detestable. The average person despises people like you. You're all inner city waifs. Inner city waifs that have never experienced hardship ever in your lives. You are awful, awful, nebulous people, very middle class, like, you can't say that. People that shame people on Twitter all day. They're just crap, nasty people. And the thing is, there's not that many of you. There's a lot of you online because you're all chronically addicted. But the thing is, most people have to work for a living. That's why you don't understand that people that actually vote for the Workers' Party might actually want to put them first because they actually stand up for workers. You are the not Workers' Party. You are the party of dickheads that do half a degree at university and think you understand Marxism. Maxi also looks like he dresses like Boomhauer from King of the Hill. Oh my God, Buzzy. Hang on. Holy shit. Boomhauer. He is. He's just beat a Boomhauer. He's beat a Boomhauer. Oh, we should have had these years ago. Holy hell, you guys are coming up with all the calls. Oh, that's so true. The yogurt effect. Hell yeah. There's more than one way. In more ways than you could imagine, it's the yogurt effect. Cover Bendigo, we've got the Brethren Church, big mining, and some random pub owner. The random pub owner. So good. Shorten shitting on them live with nuclear being as cooked as Fukushima. All right. That's it. I need to see some Bill Shorten. Election night nuclear. Let's see what we got. Well, there's only one clip. Let's watch it anyway.
Bill Shorten, how do you...
Let's just say this as well. It's also good. Look, I will say this to anybody out there that is a Greens voter that feels dejected at the moment. Yep. Suck shit, eat a dick, But also, anybody that is in the Greens Party, because I genuinely do think that most Greens voters are just uninformed. I do seriously think that. I think that there is a contingency of psychos propping up the careers of a handful of senators, and that's what the entire movement, in inverted commas, is. It's just getting a bunch of people to vote for a bunch of senators that you don't even know the names of on the branding that they're good for the environment. That's the reason that you're voting for the Greens. You can't be voting for them on information. You can't. They are a terrible organisation for the ETS, for housing. You look at any of their policies, they are wafer thin. They do not stand up to even the faintest bit of scrutiny. They don't even seem to know what they're in, right? Like, a lot of the time, they will be proposing federal policy that is for state matters. You understand? They really are an absolute sham of an organisation. It is a Borg mind. And it has done very well in conning out a huge portion of the population into voting for them, purely because, again, 30% of the population has it pretty well off. They're doing pretty well in life. And as a result, they don't actually need anything from politics. Like, if you're in the lowest income brackets and Labor delivers you free universal childcare and ups your pay by about $10,000 a year, and gives you energy relief during the cost of living crisis and huge amounts of tax relief, that actually matters to you. If you're a Greens voter on your 150k a year, it doesn't. But anyway, the point is that I think that there is a huge portion of Greens voters that mean well, that seriously think, I'm voting for the environment. You're not. You're voting for, factually, the most anti-environmental party in the parliament. Because, like, the Liberals don't pretend to be for the environment. The Greens do, and they blocked us from ever having a price on carbon, ever. They also blocked a bunch of other proposals in this election cycle as well. But the point is, I will say this. I think out of the 12% of people that vote for them, let's be honest, probably about 6% of those are probably fairly good people. The thing is, if I was a low information voter, I probably would vote for the Greens as well. I mean, I think I've voted Labor my entire life, right? But when I was 18, I was like, yeah, that's the Environment Party. They're good for the environment. And I seriously thought that. And they were there to make Labor better and all that kind of shit. You know, I just think that it's like a nice thing when young people are into the environment. That's actually a really, really positive trait. I mean, you're right. It actually is the most important issue facing the world and always will be. Why I find them so detestable is that they use that sincere urge and kind of, let's call it like weakness, gayness, if you will, of just being into the environment. I've got it too. There is a reason that I went to those huge lengths with John Barilaro. I feel like I'm particularly sensitive to the environment. I start getting quite teary when I think about environmental destruction. You know, some people are just naturally very sensitive to the environment. I get it. I am one of those people. Just take it from one of them that this is an absolute cult. The Greens are a cult. They are not working in anyone's interest. It is a party of middle-class bourgeois snobs that don't care about progress at all. They care about inflating their own ego of voting for, like, the good party, right? Which actually just means I'm not mainstream, I'm different, I'm too good for these values. It's the same reason that hipsters dress the way they do. The reason that they dress like that is basically a status symbol that, like, I can dress poor because I'm actually rich, but I want to hide that I'm rich because it's, like, not statusy in my society to be rich. Like, it's good to just be, like, this Trotskyist, Che Guevara-like figure. Like, that's the type of person that the Greens are. They're awful because I went to a performing arts school. I went to school with a bunch of these pricks. They're terrible, shitty, vacuous people. They don't care about anything except for their personal image. That is what the Greens are. It is all image and branding. So I'm saying, if you're one of these people that genuinely cares about the environment, there's a reason the Labor Party exists. It's because it is a vehicle built off the sweat, bloodshed and sweat. Seriously, the bloodshed of generations of workers propping up the greatest minds from the working class to move this country in the right direction. And the fact that the Greens are trying to undermine that movement. It hasn't worked, but the fact that they even tried to undermine that level of sacrifice and turmoil from the working class, making this country one of the most livable places on earth, pushing it all together so that we all enjoy a much better life. The fact that Greens, they're called Whitlam's children for a reason. The Greens would not exist without Labor's reforms, making society in this country so well that 30% of the population are basically useless and don't need to have a job. This is the vehicle of change. It is one of the most momentous vehicles of change in the world. There is very little like it anywhere on planet Earth, like the Labor Party. That's your home. That's your real home. The Greens are a sham. Sorry, I'll continue on. I'll read this. Huge thanks for closing the loopholes IR reforms consistently leading up to the election. I appeared before the Senate Employment Committee with Trades Hall to advocate for a fairer definition of casual employee. Glad we got the government sticking up for workers. And thank you so much for the $100, Thomas. Thank you so much for that. And thanks so much to your service for doing that. Going out to the Senate Employment Committee of Trades Hall to advocate for a fairer definition of what a casual employee is. Because again, this is what the minor party assholes were doing. The minor party assholes, the Teals, which is just girl liberal party. That's it. There's just a girl liberal party and a boy liberal party now. It's the same shit. It really is. At the end of the day, they're all liberals. Because what are liberals there for, fundamentally? To cut your wages. That's why they're there. To keep organised labour down, and they're more than happy to do it. In fact, they were really trying to screw up the definition of casual employee. Why were they doing that? So they could just exploit, probably hundreds of thousands of workers. Labor winning across the board, and it's National Dinosaur Day. I mean, can it get any sweeter than that? Can we all just appreciate the fact that it's Dinosaur Day? That it's Dinosaur Day today. It's just the ultimate auto stream. A Labor wipeout and dinosaurs. I can't wait to go to the Apple store in the city and see Stephen Bates still working there after making zero progress in the city. Oh, Johnny. Yeah, but what about Jacinta Allen? She wants more drag queen story time. I don't think she does. I don't know. I don't know if that's true or not. Look, I will look into Jacinta Allen and I'll see how woke she is. But I just don't think that that's true. Probably just doing the same thing the rest of them do. It's just like, well, you've got to respect everybody's right to, that kind of shit. Jordan, got to say, when you went to your Melbourne show, I fucking hate snakes. You showed a snake pic. I half quietly said fuck off whilst everyone laughs. I just happened to look in the direction of the bouncer walking past as I said it. He death stared me. Whoops. Oh man, the bouncers of the Comics Lounge are so scary. Can I just tell you though, they're absolute softies. They are the most sweet men I've ever met in my life, but they could crush you like a... That's exactly what you want out of a man, isn't it? Should Jordan start playing Space Marine 2 after the election? That's the new poll. Let's find out what the answer is. But yeah, they could absolutely crush you like a bug, couldn't they? Couldn't they? Sorry, let's watch Bill Shorten.
Bill Shorten, how do you sit here tonight? Comfortably? Are you regretting getting out of the game? You know what it's like to lose. 2019 was hard. How are you feeling tonight?
Oh, I'm rapt to be at the University of Canberra, but I miss great colleagues like Tanya and Jane. But I've got a little more freedom to say what I think, and I think the...
Yeah, look... Ah, shit, sorry, I'm supposed to be putting it on this screen, sorry. Look, don't you think that was just Bill's biggest problem by a mile? I reckon that he would have scraped through... If anybody saw what an absolute unit Bill Shorten is, but he was just so micromanaged. But look, you see the real Bill Shorten, and he's just so good. He's so funny. He's really funny. Like, as soon as the cameras are off, he's fucking hilarious. He's just amazing. Like, and he's just like, he's clearly like a really nice guy. I mean, who'd have guessed the guy that created the NDIS might be a nice man?
I'm going to say three things. One, Coalition has run, without a doubt, the worst campaign in living memory. I wouldn't want to be part of that post-mortem. Good luck.
Take it in! Take it in! Huh! Sky News Cope review when? Sky News Cope review will happen. I'll go get some tea after this, and then we'll go look at the Sky News Cope review.
I'm quietly confident that Anthony Albanese and Paul Erickson have run, to be honest, a campaign where we started at the start of it down, and I think they've been so disciplined. And 3, just to sort of put some detail in there for my Queensland friends, Shane Newman's the member for Blair. That's a seat the Libs must win to form a government. He's the Baron of Blair, and I'm going to predict that he will win tonight. I've already got some information from some of his scrutineers, and let's see how we go in Blair. Early days, but, you know, great.
How do you
Well done,
think,
Shane
how do you
Newman.
think Anthony Albanese ran his campaign?
Oh, I think he was disciplined. I think beginning January, he was just out of the blocks. I think he's been running, I mean, he's been running his campaign for 30 years, but in the last 3 months, I thought that was the elbow of self-discipline. You know, we've got plenty of time to and fro during the course of the night, but really, you know, the Libs didn't have a black hole in their finances. They had about 3 million quarries. So, you know, it's just terrible.
Well, that's not true. First Labor line of the night.
Dude, isn't it so annoying how Liberal women have that, like, that's not true, first of the night. It's just so un-Australian, isn't it, to pronounce your words like this. In fact, actually, Malcolm Turnbull had it as well. It's not just a chick thing. It's just a thing from the eastern suburbs.
You're willing to spend money on...
Jesus, they really had the B team over at Channel 7, didn't they? You've got Tanya Plibersek and Bill Shorten, absolute A grade for the Labor Party. And then on the other side, you've got what's her name and Mundine. Christ.
Couldn't tell us what on. You just said, hello, you know, the sort of the Simpsons of politics are here, and we just want to spend money on defence. Like, people aren't dumb. They can work out just stuff being... And if the defence policy was so good, why did you sort of serve it up like an after-dinner mint at, you know, 2 minutes to midnight in the election?
Oh, mate, if you guys were so good, why aren't you Prime Minister, Bill?
Oh, OK. It's like...
Okay, also, can someone just answer this for me? How the hell is Nat Barr still hot? What the... Isn't she like a 60-year-old grandma now? She's hotter now.
I tell you what, Jane...
Isn't it incredible as well? Just like, Liberals are actually really shit at sledging, isn't it? Like, it took her 2 minutes to get to the, like, you lost. When Bill already set that joke up before, like, he was just way ahead of it. And in the meantime, Bill Shorten has just come up with, like, 5 or 6 sick metaphors and a bunch of sick gags to go with it. And then after all of that, she just, like, gets out her little thinger. It's just, they're pathetic, aren't they? They're actually pretty stupid. The current Liberal crop, this is something that is just going to keep them out of power forever. Now, it's like all the brain power is amassing in the Labor Party. Anybody that is serious about governing, they are all in the Labor Party. You look at the DERs on the Liberals, and this is because, this is a really good theory that I heard the other day. Because Bob Hawke and Paul Keating made this country so rich, if you are part of the elite, if you are this class of person in Australia, why would you go into politics? You'd only go into politics if you're an idiot. If you're from the elite class, if you went to all the good private schools, why wouldn't you be out in a finance job? Why wouldn't you be overseas in London making $1 million a year in banking? Why would you go into politics for your $100,000 a year to hear a bunch of grandmas whine about their Optus connections? You wouldn't do it. You'd be an absolute idiot if you went there. And then on the other side, everybody that's like civically minded and wants to contribute to society, which is everybody in the Labor Party, they're all there now. So the Liberal Party is completely bereft of brain. You can see it as to what happened when John Howard was kicked out. Like, that front bench of John Howard's front bench, that was talent. There was talent there. They were smart. They were very competent politicians. And then you got Tony Abbott, which was a zealot of the old guard, but, you know, no vision at all of where to take the nation. Then you had Malcolm Turnbull that just wanted it on his resume that he was Prime Minister. And then you had Scott Morrison that's from the marketing department. And then you had Peter Costello. He was a cop before. He was a cop. Where's the talent? And Peter Dutton is the best that they had. Now you're just left with... She's on there. Do you understand? And like absolute logheads like Warren Mundine.
I will do better than Peter Dutton will tonight. Bang.
Oh, wait, one more time! One more time! Hang on, let's just watch that again. What a fucking slam.
They can work out just stuff being... And if the defence policy was so good, why did you sort of serve it up like an after-dinner mint at, 2 minutes to midnight in the election?
No, mate, if you guys were so good, why aren't you Prime Minister, Bill?
Oh, okay. It's
So I
like...
tell you what, Jane, I will do better than Peter Dutton will tonight.
Second Jane! What an axe grind! She just sets herself up. You have to understand this about Jane Hume. Jane Hume is just an absolute block of wood. She's a block of wood. She has never had an original thought in her life. She just speaks straight off the press releases from Liberal Party HQ. And she tried to get into battle of wits with Bill, the king of singers, and he sings again. Oh, shut up, Jane. Oh, you got shut down so hard. Considering the current map of Tassie, do you think that that covering news from down here is a waste of time? Do you think that the actions of federal Labor can win enough favour to grant Tas Labor a majority with Tassie? Oh, man, that's so hard. It's, again, because your electoral system down there is screwed. This is what all your Greens and Independents want, and they want it because they want to have, like, these endlessly loggerhead parliaments like you have in Europe, everywhere, where there's just, like entire parliaments just breaking apart halfway through, and then you'd have to reform with different alliances, and you can never get anything done. That's Europe. And then they want the same thing in Tasmania. They want the same thing in Tasmania. And look at the results of Tasmania. You've just got a government that has completely collapsed, and you've got another 3 years of that. Good luck. I'm obsessed with bad boy Billy Shorten. Same energy as school footy assistant coach who'd quietly tell you, take his fucking head off, mate. I didn't tell you that, but make it count. That's him! Luke, that is exactly Bill Shorten. He's done it again. He's done it again. That is exactly who he is. He'll whisper it to the side. Yeah, take his fucking head off, mate. I didn't tell you that, but make it count. That is him. That is fucking Bill. Can you please go on cold ones, shorties? Yeah, actually, I will. I'll make it happen. Oh, poor two. Poor two Lee down there. That's the only thing that I felt sad about the entire election, honestly. I just really wish that two got in. I just think she's nice. I really hope that she gets the next one round. All right, anyway, I'm going to go on a 5-minute break to get myself some more tea. We'll be back, and then we'll go through some Sky News Cope. see what we got here just as some quick. Oh, Kyle just gave me $50 for no reason. What a flex. What a flex. So nice of you. Good on you, Kyle. I must sleep, but enjoy Sky News. Cope, Peter Credlin and Bolt. All right, let's see what we got. Bye, Adam. Bye, Peter. All right. Let's watch some Sky News, Cope. You ready? If anyone has any good videos to recommend, let's put them in. Ah, damn my fat hands. All right, Sky News Australia. Let's see. It's all over for Peter Dutton. Dutton heads back to Canberra to pack up. That's brutal. That's politics, buddy. Max Chandler-Mather campaigns about being yelled at. Yep, it's very, very good that they should do that. Congrats from the UK. I hope the Labor Party does better than ours. Oh, man, you have no idea what's in store for Australia now. We've definitely given ourselves... 12 years. 12 years, I'm calling it. 12 years of Labor, long may it rain. Hey Jordan, Miss Love kissed me multiple times at your shows. Can I have an internship? We'll work for vibes. Why did he kiss you, Eve Sam? We'll work for vibes. Greatest election result in humankind. Adam Bandt kicked out of Parliament. Yeah, see, it's the one thing that we can all agree on. Thank God. Let's see. We didn't hide Tim Wilson speaks after his victory in Goldstein. That comes back. But this is the awful thing. Like, just those seats, the teal seats. What did you have? You had a choice between a teal and Tim Wilson. Lefties losing it. Let's see. What have we got here? Oh, they just upload so much. Where's this thing of them melting down? Sky News Australia election loss. Let's just write that in. The Conservative movement has let Australians down. Difficult night for the coalition following election loss. Okay, this looks
Let's go to
promising.
Paul and Shari at the Liberal event. I think it is. Yeah, it is a bit quieter, a lot quieter there, Paul. Shari?
Yes, I think it is referred to absolutely as an event because there is a lot of cope that is taking place in the room for the most obvious of reasons. Look, this is a difficult night. This is a difficult night for millions of people who wanted Peter Dutton to become the Prime Minister, only to see not that happen, but obviously now him losing his seat as well. Again, I don't think as a man...
Hang on. Oh, yeah, two-party preferred, right. What was the end primary? Did we hit 35, didn't we? Or close to?
As a national figure, that he deserves that moment in history. He's done great things for the country, but we also have to be incredibly realistic. Part of the bad campaign includes the fact that we've got the Prime Minister about to jump into the car and go to his party, and there's no concession. There's no suggestion of one in the next couple of minutes. The reality is that should have happened by now. It is clear that they have lost the election. And also, yes, there's the question about his seat. And look, I'll obviously save deeper thought and conversation about the future.
Whatever.
To say
They're
tomorrow
too
night.
sad at this point. We need something in between those two. You need like Peter Credlin losing it or something. Oh, okay, all right. Well, if we're going for like idiots.
For more on
Holy shit.
the coalition's loss now, we are joined on set.
Dude, aren't these two just fucked? Like, Outsiders the show is fucked, and then this is just the fucked version of that. It's really scary watching whatever the hell this is. Like the B team watch of that. Please watch Bill Shorten and Clive Palmer dunking on Shane Hume. Okay, Katie, I will do that in a sec. Let's just watch this one, and then we'll do that. Just letting you know you motivated me to volunteer for Labor again. This election was off them because of what they did to the CFMEU, but greater good. That's what I like to hear, Maxie. That is what I like to hear. Because, honestly, you know what voting for the Labor Party is? It is an admittance that you're an adult. That's what. It is an admittance that you are not going to throw a tantrum. That you're just going to go out there and be like, yep, I don't agree with everything that the Labor Party does. Who the hell would ever agree on anything ever, everything in a democracy, right? It is an admittance that, like, maybe I don't understand parliamentary tactics and policy better than people who have devoted their lives to it in a large, broad movement. Geordie's coming back to Brisbane soon. You made you a couple of scarves. Do I just leave them with security? That's so sweet, Monsky. And thank you so much for the $50 as well. Jesus. Yeah, look, honestly, come back and say hi after the show. That's so nice of you, man. All right, let's just move on to...
by Liberal Senator Holly Hughes. Great to have you on.
Good evening.
Good evening. How we feel? Look, well, I'll ask you straight out. What happened?
It was an absolute disaster, and anyone who says differently is kidding themselves. And I think Peter Dutton was incredibly gracious in the speech that he gave last night, and I think it shows the character of the man. And I think as we go forward...
Yeah, that was true. Honestly, it was a really good concession speech. It was a really good victory speech, and it was a really good concession speech by both of them. That's true. Do you think that Labor and Liberal will be in an endless cycle of switching backwards and forwards, or do you think that there'll be a point where enough people will start paying attention to politics as what's true and glimpsing over the headlines? Sir, I believe that we are at that level now, and I think it's purely because, again, if you have half a brain, you join the Labor Party. I personally give myself some credit for that, of educating our generation, so that you see that the vast majority of people that ever are into Young Labor, the reason that they're in Young Labor is because of my videos. Thank you very much. And you will notice that most people that are into politics when they're young are megaspurgs, but they are moving into the Labor Party. You've got all the psychos that are moving to the Greens. The Liberal Party is a completely dead, dying machine. They are trapped between the Teals and One Nation. Where do you go from there? It is just this blob mass getting eaten away by two sharks. There's this blubber whale who's like, just dying in the corner of it. That is the Liberal Party now. Guys, what do? I was thinking about this. I've been asking other people. If you're the Liberal Party, how do you rebuild from here? How? Where do you go from here? This is something that I've been grappling with a lot. I just don't see a way out. Like, this is terminal for them. This has happened to them in the past. This is exactly what happened with them when they started trading iron with the Japanese and then they used it to shoot us, right? The UAP had to be disbanded. It had to come back as the Liberal Party. And this is happening again. People are starting to realise, oh, these guys are a bunch of con artists. And so they start breaking apart. I also think it's just like the rise of narcissism in the world, that you have Gina Reinhart, massively full of herself, huge Twitter addict. Simon Holmescorp, massively full of himself, massive Twitter addict. He goes off and creates Girls Liberal. Gina Reinhart is pissed off that, Peter Dutton doesn't like Donald Trump enough. And so she just starts pumping money into One Nation. And then in the middle, you just have this very talentless, directionless, sinking Hulk ship tearing apart. On the other side, you have a lean, mean Labor Party. You have an incredibly talented front bench. I was just saying this the other day to my family members. Don't you think that you could pick about half a dozen people on the front bench of Labor right now that are ready to go prime ministers? They could easily be Prime Minister. They're more than qualified for the job. It's an extremely talented front bench. Greens, the reason you're in the Greens is because you know that you can't cope in Labor, because you're just not competent enough. Max Chandler-Mather, Adam Bandt, what are they? They're creatures that realise, oh, I can get a safe 12% of the vote. And they got too big for their boots and just demanded more and more airtime. So, and again, just showed everybody how like shit they are. But, you know, these people could not stand in the Labor Party. Do you honestly think that Max Chandler-Mather is anywhere near the level of genius that, say, Chris Bowen is, for instance? Like, Max Chandler-Mather is dumber than me, to give you some context here. He's dumber than me. I'm no genius. I'm not on the level of Chris Bowen or Tanya Plibersek or Penny Wong or Tony Burke or Bill Shorten or Anthony Albanese. They're much smarter than us. And this is all they do. And this is all they've been doing for 4 decades. As Paul Keating said, they are stripped down and ready to go. Just need everybody to know that Bridget McKenzie was booing people not talking, taking Nationals HTV cards in Bendigo. She yelled at me for saying she'll take me on the ABC when I said no thanks to her. Oh, that's so good. Was she doing it in jest? Surely she was doing it in jest. I don't get why some vote Greens. A lot are the annoying I hate capitalism type, but others just seem to be just see rent caps and think my rent's up, this could help. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Ethan. Exactly. That is what I was talking about before. The divide in the Greens really is upper middle class narcissists who feel like the world isn't going their way. Oh my God, I heard the greatest theory the other day. Okay, listen to this. John Howard, such a visionary. When he got in, he realised, why am I even trying to cater to the working class? Why are we even trying to help out these people that are just going to vote for Labor anyway, regardless of what we do? How about we make the new social contract, I will allow 60% of the population to get rich at the expense of 40%. And then that'll just keep me in forever. Like that new aspirational class that Keating created by making it so much easier for you to buy to get a small business loan. For you to start becoming like a tradie or whatever, like that new aspirational class, the people with the boats out the front of their 2-story McMansions. That person was working class before. They were lifted out of working class to what is known as the aspirational class. Howard took true advantage of that and said to them, here's the new deal. I'm going to make you feel like you're rich by giving you rebates to get private healthcare, private school vouchers. And so you had 30% of the population that went to private schools that shouldn't. You understand? Like, in England, there's Eton, yeah? Here, there's your Scots colleges, there's your Kings, there's a few elite private schools where if you go there, yes, you are the leaders of tomorrow, you know? You are, it doesn't matter if you fuck a pig's head, you can still be Prime Minister of England, you know? That is the born to rules. That is 1% of the population. They are the 1%. What John Howard did was give 30% of the population the feeling that they are the 1% at the expense of the 40%. At the expense of 40% of the population, he gave that 30% the feeling that yes, you are special, yes, you are unique, yes, you're in the same class as King Charles. You're not. You're never going to be. There can only ever be 1%. You're not going to be their champ. And so then they grow up and then they're like accountants at H&R Block or whatever. And then they think, hey, why don't I pawn to rule? Why aren't I the CEO of NAB? And that's why you're starting to see people vote for the Teals and the Greens. It's because they're that type of person. They aren't talented. They aren't special. They aren't really part of the ruling elite, but they were told they were part of the ruling elite as they grew up, and they're pissed off about it. And so they feel like society needs to change. Society needs to change. It's not society's fault, and capitalism. And that's always what seems to happen. It's like the losers of the ruling class always want to lead the revolution, you know? Having never been around working people their entire life, ever. So that's it. So like, and then the other one is just people that are just low information voters. I think that there's a huge contingency of people that just like, yeah, rent is up, and the Greens are saying that they're going to take it down, and I don't know how politics works, so I'm going to vote for them. Will there be a film of your new show coming out? Was supposed to take notes, but didn't want to be rude, so relying on my poor list of remembered notes. Yeah, there will be at some point. Cheers, Big E's, for your part in the outcome on Saturday. The broad church of the Liberal Party is splitting into the Teals and the reactionaries. What now? Will they survive in 2028? Yeah, Nephew, sorry, I was just talking about that before. But yes, that's what I'm wondering too. I don't know where they go from here. I really don't know where they go. If I'm the Liberal Party, I'm screwed. I have no talent. I have no voter base. That's eroding as well. As somebody pointed out when they were coming on the ABC, apparently this, I didn't see this, but Ali was saying that someone from the Liberals came on. They were laughing at him. They were saying what happened, and then he goes, "Man, everyone hates us but old people." Like, if you have just a dying electorate, and that's the only people that like you, and you've got no talent, and you can't really reform the party. Honestly, I think that what's happening is those ruling elite parties, like your One Nations, like your Teals, there will always be some semblance of the Liberals there. But, like, these are all breaking up into different components. It's making it so easy for Labor to win.
Forward, though, there were plenty of other people who made mistakes, had gaffes, maybe didn't live up to what they were supposed to be doing this election. And so before they start thinking of what their next move is, I think a few of those people need to actually have some deep reflection on their contribution to this loss.
Well, that's incredible, because usually I've just got nothing but bad things to say about Holly Hughes, but she's the first person that I've heard so far that actually sat there and said, like, dude, maybe we should actually think about what we've done, why we've lost. Like, everybody else that I've seen there has just been saying that, like, oh, it's actually not that bad of a loss because insert cope reason. She's actually doing
So I'm keen to know who those people are. Who's responsible for this?
Well, I think when you look at the complete lack of policy that was being able to be talked about by candidates, and, you know, I do want to start by saying...
True. Definitely not your... that's definitely a factor, yes. Jesus, Peter Dutton came to the election saying, I'm going to build nuclear power plants and I'm going to cut all public servants in Canberra. Like, that's very scary. What should I have for dinner? Matthew, I don't know what you should have for dinner. Actually, yes, have spaghetti bolognese. You should do a travel video on Eureka Ballarat. Look, I'm going to be doing a video on the Eureka Stockade very soon, because this is something else that we're going to be doing when we come back. I've just realised, you know what I really need to start doing? I need to start articulating to people out there, like myself, for instance, yeah? The reason that I am a Labor voter is because I grew up in a household where I know what it's like to get a government handout when you need it. I know what that is like. I know what it is like to be one of those people down there that if they didn't have access to Medicare, if they didn't have access to disability pensions, if they didn't have access to universal education, that's me done. I'd be one of those little chimney sweep kids that gets stuck in a chimney sweep that a hobo hires, and then I die in there, and he's just out there being like, quick, I'll pickpocket him for his pennies. That would have been me, for sure, without those things. When you come from one of those households, when you come from the working class, there is something deep in you, like you can't really explain why you're voting for the Labor Party. You can't understand it. You can't really articulate it in your head. It's just there. That feeling is there. And I think that I want to spend the next 3 years explaining to those people why you are Labor voters. There is a reason for that. Like, I'm talking about the flag right now. The reason that the Labor Party... Look at this for a second. Look at this. It's incredible. It's beautiful stuff. Hang on. Whatever, this will do. Look, Why is the Labor Party that? That's the Southern Cross. That's in reference to the Eureka Stockade. That is sort of like the igniting birth of unions in this country that gave you the life and standards that you have today. I don't think there's any other country on earth that started with a union-run party in its parliament. We had that. We are absolutely blessed for it. Why is it red? It's to commemorate all the workers who died, giving you the living standards that you have today, that actually sacrificed their lives so that you can have the living standards that you have today. That is the depth and meaning of the Labor Party. Conversely, why is the Liberal Party's colour blue? You know why? Because back in the day, blue was the most expensive colour to dye. How evil. How evil's that? Sorry. We'll continue on. Here, have some dollar reduced for all the hard work. Here's another 4 years of labour. Thank you, Nathan. Thank you for your $100, mate. I really appreciate it. You're a king. Nathan, you're an absolute Mitch.
A lot of good friends lost their seats last night. A lot of candidates who put a lot of work in lost. And also to all of their staff that have just lost their jobs overnight. There's a lot of people that are really hurting at the moment.
Oh, looks like Peter Dutton was right about him losing all of those Canberra jobs, Stitch.
Policies in October last year to never hear another word back. So whoever was responsible for putting those policy documents together, and I've heard this from other colleagues as well, there seemed to be a...
$20. Over a year ago, I would have been a Greens voter. This has been my first election, and I wanted to thank you from the bottom of my heart as someone now on the NDIS for making me first preference Labor voter, South in the Senate. Exactly. You see, right there. That's what we're talking about. Like, that person right there who relies on the NDIS for a living. There's other people out there that when I explain everything that I just said to you about the Workers' Party and like the gratitude that you should have for the fact that that exists, that like working people in this country cobbled together to make a party that represents their interests and created a union movement that represents their interests, which by and large is just the nation's interests, you know, that they sacrifice for that. There's people like him out there that would have voted for the Greens because it's just like the branding and imagery of it is just like more flashy because they're allowed to do that, you know? And so they would have voted for that. And then you explain that to them. And then it's like, because they do actually rely on this country being built. They rely on the fact that there is an NDIS out there. And so they feel that debt. They feel that debt to that party. And that's what I think I want to explain to people. Why you have that debt. Why it is... I never really used to realize it. Like, dude, it used to anger me so much when people would criticize the Labor Party. I'd get like irrationally angry, and I could never figure out why that is. And it's honestly just boils down to this: my survival was dependent on that party, and as a result, I feel like I owe it. It's a pay it forward thing. It's a truly beautiful creation of Australia. It's uniquely Australian. I was talking about this on the podcast, but Jack Lang, James Scullin, they didn't agree on much. What they did agree on was the fact that during a deficit, during the Great Depression, so like exactly like the GFC with Kevin Rudd, what you should be doing instead is running up debt so that you can keep people in employment. And if you can keep people in employment, the economy will run smoothly or smoother during the crisis. And like it won't take as long for the economy to start up again. That was revolutionary back then. You know what that's called now? Keynesianism. These guys invented Keynesianism before John Maynard Keynes. This is how the whole world is built now. The whole world is built off of Keynesian economics. Everybody just understands that's what you're supposed to do during a global or just like economic downturns. That's what you're supposed to do. We came up with that first. The vision that Paul Keating had for this country. You know what he really was trying to do with superannuation? You know what he was trying to do with his grand vision, really? He was trying to beat capitalism, and he was the genius to do it. Paul Keating was a once-in-a-generation genius, as was Jack Lang, you know? Like, and the reason that they had the opportunity to do that, this is all, like, I always thought, why are all these geniuses going into public service? Why, like, again, anyone like Jack Lang, anyone like Paul Keating could have made an absolute mint in the private sector. Again, doing things in the private sector is a hell of a lot easier than doing things in the public sector. The reason they went into that, I think, is because there was no other options for them. They were from the working class. There's no opportunity for them. There was nothing. But working people putting their money together allowed these great minds to flourish. You understand? Like what Paul Keating did with the creation of superannuation is just completely beat the game. He beat the game. He made workers the investor class. He made unions, okay, he understood unions are on a downward trajectory. Like they are just decreasing in power. Let's make them the investment class. Like the unions are now the financiers of the planet. Visionary shit. Really forward-thinking stuff. And the reason they went into politics is because really, I think that they had nowhere else to exercise their brains. And it was all these working people sacrificing a bit of their salary so that they could get these great minds into power for the little brief stints that they had to truly impact and change their lives. The LNP can now fit inside a large average city bus and carpool to Parliament together to get laughed at. Who do you think will be the sketchy fellas sat at the back yelling at the rest of the party? Oh my God. Far out. What's his name? Ted O'Brien will just be at the front for sure. I had him in my head. Tim Wilson will be at the front. Susan Lee will be at the front. Angus Taylor will be at the front. Alex Hawke, is he still in or did he lose his seat? I don't know. I'm going to have to look that up. Working in development law, I spend so much time explaining to elite friends why Greens are bullshit. Your videos are a huge help to get it across. Really, Ashley? Did that actually get through to them? I thought that it wouldn't. That's incredible to know. Thank you. Jody, I think a lot of people started to look at voting Liberal because they want the values of Labor, but we're well and truly over the wokeness of society and immigrants. Soz, but it's true. Well, yes and no. Look, Bob, that's true to an extent, and I think that Labor has corrected the wokeness, but I think that honestly a lot of it was just confected by Sky News. You know, you can find a bunch of woke comments from the Liberal Party. They're very easy to find. I could do like 2-hour compilations of them, right? Like for years, the Liberal Party was accusing me of being a sexist and a racist. You know, they have their wokeness. Like everybody has their just like racist and sexist because it's a part of politics. But the true political aspect was to just make them like the SJW Lord crowd. The problem is, it's actually very difficult to do that in Australia. Like in America, really. The parties there, yes, there's massive differences, I get it, but they're not like in Australia. Like the youth of Australia is bucking the trends. Young men are moving towards the Labor Party here. They're not moving towards, the quote-unquote centre-left party anywhere else in the rest of the world. The reason they're moving towards them here is because here in Australia, they're clearly offering them material outcomes, material changes. Why? Because it is unique. It is a workers' party. Sorry. Not sure if it's been mentioned, but the press... Jesus, $200. Thank you so much, Andy. Far out. Legend. Not sure if this has been mentioned, but the press coverage of the win was very conspicuously not given Labor deserved the credit. It was Labor didn't win, Libs lost. People voted against Dutton, not for Albo. Greens only lost because LNP referred Labor. Yeah. Andy, you are absolutely right. Absolutely right. That is the framing of it. The reality is, however, not true. I mean, you can just tangibly feel it when you walk out, don't you think? Jesus, Old Green Nipples. Have a big dono. You earned it, George. Wow, thank you, Old Green Nipples. Punters Politics, Purple Pingers. He's best mates with Jim Marlowe. Lol, Chatfield, Clem Ford. Actually, ADU. I expect old style friendly Geordie's roast videos on these individuals now. Individual people now, friendly Jimbo. Stay gaming, brother. Kiss, kiss. Well, again, like, dude. I'll wait. Like, far out. Like, Chatfield doesn't seem to be taking it very well. Does she? I don't really need to push her over the edge at the moment. But again, son, thank you for your $100. I live here in England. Although Labor would win here, we are stuck with the National Party and stuck with the loon himself, Barnaby Joyce. Oh, you thought the Labor Party would win there? Really? Surely the Labor Party doesn't have a chance of winning in New England. Look, national seats are tied. They are down pat. You are in a fealty blood oath with them. But yeah, Andy, like, that was very expected. They're always going to say all of that shit after a Labor win. Oh, well, you know, it was the Liberal Party was so bad. And look, there is some element of truth to that. That's absolutely true. Like, the Liberal Party was terrible in this election. But the Labor Party was incredibly disciplined. The Labor Party actually delivered people results that they could go back to throughout the last 3 years and say, this is what we did for you. The fact that people at this election were saying things like, actually, during the cost of living crisis, we did pretty well compared to the rest of the world. That's a different place. Now, we'll continue on with this. Someone gave me 1,000 yen, thank you, to say Labor rolled in Bruz to a taxpayer-funded vineyard. Like Bruz to a taxpayer-funded vineyard. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You have no idea. This is such a big victory.
Vortex of those that were responsible for putting together what should have been a coherent policy position. You're right, no one knew what we stood for. We had no tax plan. We had no economic narrative. And what this government is planning to do to this country with unrealised gains on your superannuation being taxed, capital gains on your family home, no one even knows about this because the economic team were not...
Yeah, but that's all scare tactic bullshit. Like, that's not true. They took it to vote. It got voted down. They don't plan to do it.
Not out there talking about it at any stage. There just seemed to be a one-man show with Dutton, and there were a lot of people that were out there missing in action. They never sold a message. They never sold their own portfolio. They never talked about anything, and a lot of people have a lot of soul-searching to do, I think.
You mentioned one-man Dutton.
That seems to be a bit superficial, though, don't you think? It's just like, you just got to go out there and door knock. I'm sure that they were all door knocking. I'm sure that everybody wants to keep their seat, you know? Yes, I'm imagining that some are less competent at it than others. But no, that's not your main problem there. I'll tell you what the Liberal Party's main problem is. You ready? You suck. Everybody has figured out that you suck. Only old people that are too geriatric to not realise that John Howard isn't on the front bench anymore. Everyone else in the country thinks you suck. And with very good reason.
Look, he should be the Prime Minister of this country because he is
Absolutely.
a good man. He is a very good man and he genuinely loves this country.
Yep.
Yes! Yes! The cope continues! He's a very good man. Oh, man, how nice is it hearing Sky News hosts getting triggered? Ah, music for my soul. This is the first federal election I've been old enough to vote for. Was going to vote Liberal due to parents, but thanks to you and your videos, I convinced them and my mates to vote Labor. Thank you. It's same Ash. It's same Ash. That's sick. I can't believe that you did that as an 18-year-old, Ash. You got to be proud of yourself, buddy. That's incredible. God, you've done more than most of my audience that have been there for years.
What happened from early this year when he was strong, came out, was to the point, could answer basic questions like what is a woman, to last week not being able to answer. What has happened?
This is incredible, isn't it? Like, they seriously think that the reason that you are able to win an election or not is how you answer the question, what is a woman? It's just, again, these people do not live in reality. These are all rich people. These are the things that they care about. I'm telling you, the rift in the Labor Party, that is actually profound that they are talking about that now, because that is what the Liberal Party thinks. Like, Girl Liberal Party has a different definition of what a woman is to One Nation. That's it. That's what this massive dividing rift is. The billionaires are moving away because of their own petty egos. They have forgotten that the main game of the Liberal Party, the entire point of it, is purely to keep Labor out of power. The oldies understand it. You talk to your grandparents and say, why are you voting Liberal? And they'll always say, oh, we've got to keep Labor out. They were propagandized by it from the Menzies era. They understood that's the main game. You didn't have to agree with everything that the Liberal Party wanted. That's not matter. You put your ego at the door because the Workers' Party is a huge threat. That's what they don't get anymore. They're just caught in this kind of stuff of just like Simon Holmes Court has a different definition of what a woman is to Pauline Hansen. I'm telling you right now, that's seriously why the Liberal Party is breaking up. There'd be hard-headed people in there like your Peter Duttons being like, it's rifting, guys. Like, we should have some other understanding here that's happening. And then you've got these idiots in the Teals and One Nation just being like, no, it's culturally repulsive to be in the same party. It's like, get used to it. Put your cultural differences aside. You will keep losing. So on second thought, don't.
In the last 5 months?
I think your analysis of trying to win the election versus trying to lose the election is actually a really, really good way to put it.
Jesus, people just keep giving me too much money. I've got to keep... JH, thank you so much for your $200. Continue your public service, Geordies. Also, everyone should definitely watch James McGrath's In Denial on election night. His complete faith in poll numbers that never materialised was hilarious. So much copium. Best compilation. Latest video is on the channel at Mist of the Past. Okay, I'll give that a go. Man, thank you so much for the $200. You really don't have to be giving me all of this money, guys. It's really, really nice of you. Thank you. I can't find it. Nah, I can't see it. Sorry. Look, buddy, I would love to do it just for that, but I can't find it. I'm too technologically illiterate. Thank you, though.
But for more on the...
Actually, come on. We got to watch Pauline responding to Adam Bandt going. No. I'm telling you, dude, it's just the only thing.
Where
It's
your
like,
energy
you
provider
have
comes
to-
from, with Red Energy, you do.
To be honest with you, when your invitation came, I nearly threw it out.
Oh,
Let's catch
really?
up now with what?
Yes! It's the bowling ball himself! Hang on, let me just watch this. Let me just read this. Where did we go? Where did we go? Sorry. I'm 19, was voting Green, then researched and found them to be fundamentally unprofessional party. You've inspired me to join my uni Labour branch. That's what I like to hear, Alistair. That's what I'm saying. Anyone with half a brain joins the Labour Party. I'm telling you right now. Like, guys, I've done all the thinking for you. I'm in my 30s. Just trust me on this. Like, I don't know much. I basically know how to put on my pants, and I know that the Labour Party is better than the Greens. That's it. And this guy has heeded the warning. And honestly, your future is going to be a lot brighter, a lot more positive. You are going to be around a lot less narcissistic psychos. You've made the right choice, and on an early age as well. Good boy. Jesus, Solly Woodkins, $150. Your message will be made public. I've got so much money, I can't handle it. So thank you. It's very nice of everybody. It is really nice of everybody. Thank you for that. I felt that Dutton would lose his seat 1 to 2%, not nearly 9%. Damn. I forgot that it was that much of a smashing. I just hope my seat of Longman next to Dixon can flip. I mean, even if it doesn't, man, be proud of the fact that you're part of the teeny little dinosaur cohort now. You're an extinct species almost. You're endangered. That's cool in itself. My nan thought Dame Edna was a woman. Yeah, well, so did I. Because she does. She just looks like every grandma. That's a very good point. Thank you for bringing that up. Did you see Trump's glazing elbow? He's a very good friend of mine. And then he said, I don't know who he ran against. Oh, yeah, okay, sorry. Let's just try and find that. Trump on elbow.
The Australian election, Conservatives did very badly, just like in Canada. They're saying it's the Trump effect again. Conservatives doing it. In Australia, there was an election this weekend.
Well, I don't know. Albanese, I'm very friendly with. I don't know anything about the election other than
he just won again. He was re-elected.
The man that won he's very good. He's a friend of mine.
Your cards were not the act of a friend. Will you be speaking to him now, congratulating him on his win?
Well, I can only say that he's been very, very nice to me, very respectful to me. I have no idea who the other person is that ran against him. And, we've had a very good relationship.
The Australian election, Conservatives did very badly, just like in Canada.
Dude, how good is senior citizen grey-haired Trump? God damn. Oh no, okay, it's that, but I feel sorry for Dutton. I feel sorry. I'm empty of cum and I feel sorry for Dutton. Can you imagine he modelled himself on Donald Trump and Donald Trump doesn't know who he is and likes Anthony Albanese better. Oh, how many L's can one man take? Oh, I feel so sorry for him. He should have at least Trump should know who he is. Can he at least have that? Finally, the election is over. I can get back to Elder Scrolls Oblivion Remastered. Oh, damn. Ben, if there was a game that I would love to start again, it would be that. I would love to get back in. Imagine a non-shit Oblivion. Could the coalition regain relevance through policy? No, Evan. This is the thing that's very difficult about them. This goes beyond policy for them. Because they have to represent the interests of the elite, but the elite are divided. I'm telling you, this is a cultural thing. This is just, there is the cuck elite and there is the based elite. And that's why you're seeing the Liberal Party riff like this. Because they have to keep both under the same tent, and it's not happening. They're going into minor parties, and it's a beautiful thing to watch. Because the more that they tear themselves apart, the better it is for us. Hey, George, wondering if you could give me some tips on increasing my sperm count. Been whacking it to Chris Kenny's tears for the past few days, but shooting Dusty's takes the fun out of it. Slow and steady wins the race, my friend. It's a little thing called edging. I've been edging it for a long time. Waiting for Adam Bandt, and then bam, I've never come so hard in my life. I'm telling you, this is true. I honestly had body orgasm when Adam Bandt lost his seat. That happened.
One Nation leader Pauline Hansen, who joins us from Queensland. Good to talk to you, Pauline. I thought we'd start off with the breaking news that we got out of Melbourne today. Tom Connell brought it to us. Let's have a look how Tom Connell shared this news earlier this afternoon.
What would he need in the remaining absent votes to be able to win? 63%. That is just far too high an outperformance from everything else that has happened in this election. So we're assuming lots of positives for Bandt from here, and he still would need 63%. So given that, I know there's plenty of vote left, we are now saying the Labor Party will pick up the seat of Melbourne, and Adam Bandt, the Greens leader, will lose the seat of Melbourne.
No, I've still got a bit more jizz in me.
What do you reckon, Pauline? There is a God. Adam Bandt, the Greens leader, kaput.
I can't believe it. Isn't it so weird that you're just sitting there being like, "Hey, Paul, yeah, you said it all right, Pauline. Yeah, too right."
Well, Chris, just quietly between you and I was getting ready to come onto your program when I heard the news, and I couldn't help it. I did a dance around the house in my bra and knickers, and I had to have
So good. I'm telling you, man, everyone except the Greens hates Adam Bandt. Everyone. What does that tell you?
gin and tonic. So I am so excited. That's the best news I've heard.
She did it right. I should have got hammered as well. I should have gotten a gin and tonic out. It's just, it's It's so good. The Labor Party tries to make everyone's lives better with the Liberals only want to destroy and make life so much harder. Yeah, that's the whole thing. It's very easy to raise the living standards of the 1%. It's hard to lift everyone else up as well. That's the forever curse that the Labor Party has.
I'm waiting.
Fantastic.
I'm waiting for this to turn up on TikTok or something in a moment. Why does it please you so much?
Look at her. She's so giddy.
Honestly.
You got to give it to Pauline, right? Like, obviously, not our politics, yeah? But you can understand why she strikes a chord with Australia. She is extremely sincere in her beliefs, isn't she? She's really not... She's not one of these people that can mask things. I think it's the same thing as, like Jackie Lambie has lost her seat, so it's probably not a good example. But she just lost it to Pauline's legacy, you know? There's just certain people that people sense that person is genuine. And that's like actually a very, very, very good recipe in politics, don't you think?
Chris, their policies, they want to dish out the money. We're going to actually have all the wind turbines, but they have no qualm about destroying hundreds and thousands of hectares of pristine forest in Australia to put up their wind turbines.
Oh my God. This old chestnut, eh? Well, I mean, that's a great follow-up to me just saying that she's genuine. I genuinely believe that she believes these talking points from the IPA. Adam Bandt is gone. So long, dental plan! Oh my God. Okay, sorry. We're going to have to look at that now as well. Yeah. Nah, that's happening. Remember Adam Bandt's toothbrush shit?
Okay, Adam, we've got to talk about the... Okay, Adam, we've got to talk about the big toothbrush.
The toothbrush in the room.
It's just so gross as well that it's just like the Greens are culturally at home on the ABC. What does that tell you? Just the most detestable cunts in the country. They're all at home on the ABC because they're all the same type of fuckwit that has just been bred in this sort of upper class welfare system. And that's why they all just sit there and they're like, the toothbrush, that's fun. Isn't that fun, the toothbrush? The Liberals, the Greens are just fucking prop comics these days. It's so pathetic. It's like, isn't this silly? It's so silly, isn't it? And it's just like, they're the exact opposite of Pauline before that was like, I was walking around the house in my undies doing a dance and I had a gin. And then you go to these guys and it's just like, they're pretending that it's funnier than it is,
We can't not talk about it. Obviously, you want dental in Medicare.
Just look at them. They're so fucked and annoying. I like it so much better on Sky. Bring me back to Sky. They're just the most annoying, detestable people on earth.
Now, the parties have said, yeah, this is great, but it's going to cost too much.
Look, people are putting off going to the dentist because they can't afford it. And when you do go, if you need something more than a routine treatment or...
Yeah, they've all got it. Now that I'm thinking about it, all of them have these really fucked accents that just give away the fact that they grew up well off. All of them. Like just how we saw Holly Hughes before and like Jane Sherm. And then this one that speaks like this. They all have fucked, gross accents. It's just not Aussie. I don't know what the fuck it is. What are these people's accents? It's really off-putting. Here's another 50 on the house. Kyle, stop giving me money. Thank you, though. You're such a nice guy. He's so nice. Thank you for spotlighting the revolutionary things the Labor Party is doing to our country. Got out and campaigned in Dawson and convinced my rusted-on Liberal old man to swing to Labor. That's beautiful to hear. That's beautiful. Especially in a seat like Dawson, right? Like, is Dawson one of those... Was that one of the ones that they were targeting? Oh, Razor, good on you. Good on you. That is so nice to hear. And thank you again, Kyle, for the 50. My friend and I were in a Coffs Harbour motel on the weekend, went to the Big Banana. There was a junkie at 1 a.m. swearing to himself. We kept doing your voice of Coffs Harbour. Can you do it for me? Coffs Harbour. Yeah, it's them. It's Coffs. Coffs is just filled with rat people. That's the way to put it.
or your child needs braces, it can run into the thousands of dollars. Australians are already spending a huge amount of money going to the dentist. By bringing that into Medicare, it'll deliver real savings. How do we afford it? Well, at the moment, 1 in 3...
It's not about affording, you stupid fuck. Okay, let's see if he gets to the actual answer. Let's see if he gets to the answer. Because he's just going to put out the same fantasy bullshit of like, we're just going to tax the billionaires and then like we'll have dental care. We'll just have dental care if we just tax the billionaires. He's just going to say that for sure. But that's not the underlying issue with dental care in Medicare. Let's see if he even acknowledges it.
3 big corporations in this country pays no tax at all.
Ah, there we go. Okay, he brings it out. Right, well done. Well done. There's a reason for that. Well, there's a couple of reasons for it, and he's not going to be able to mention it because this is all they are. They just live in soundbite land. The reason that 1 in 3 corporations don't pay any tax in this country, first off, is because, it is possible for a company to not make any profits that year and actually legitimately just make revenue instead of no profit. And you do not get taxed on revenue, you get taxed on profit. So revenue is all the money that comes in, and then you spend it all on wages and, I don't know, your little get well camp retreats and all that kind of stuff and the skittles in the office. And then if there's any money left over after that, that's profit, right? Now, yes, a lot of these corporations, hide the fact that they are making a profit and put it into offshore accounts and stuff, which is why Labor is leading the world in a corporate tax evasion crackdown. As in, again, the Trump administration and the EU both telling Labor to ease up on their reforms on taking down corporate tax evasion. Like, that is the reason that that is happening. You'll hear his alternative, and hang on, let's just see if he says it.
And so we've released a costed plan to make these big corporations start paying their fair share of tax that more than covers the cost of getting dental into Medicare.
See, there you go. No answer for it. Complete fantasy land bullshit. It's just going to be like, we're just going to raise their corporate tax rate by more. Does that matter? You could raise it to 100%. Who cares? They're taking it offshore. You have to crack down on corporate tax evasion. That is a way harder thing to do. A much harder thing to do than to just say like, oh yeah, the tax rate is this high. You've got to do all sorts of legal battles. You have to trace it in untraceable bank accounts. You have to argue that actually what was a profit what they're claiming isn't a profit is a profit. That always has to go in court. These are all arbitration things. These are all things that take years to crack down on. It's exactly like this stupid thing of them always just being like, oh, Labor does no gas tax or like stuff like that. And it's like, dude, they just returned the most amount of money any government has ever gotten from tax, from these big ass legal battles. Sorry. What's the difference between Dutton and a toilet? A toilet has a seat. Have $100 just in case. Nathan, thank you for your $100. Thank you everyone for all these $100. Thank you, Nathan. It's such a nice guy. All of you guys are legends. Every last one of you. I got to ask, thoughts on Bob Katter? Backy Sack, look, anyone that takes anything off the Nationals, great. I'm happy that they do. I think that Bob Katter usually votes down the line with us on everything except the environment. I really can't stand how anti-environment he is. But dude, again, he is a farmer from North Queensland, representing farmers from North Queensland. Of course he is. At least he's really, really, really funny. So I'll give him that. Like it's of course he's going to be like that. My boomer dad voted Labor for the first time in his life after voting Liberal for years. He finally admitted to me that he never really liked Howard and realised that the Liberal Party has never actually made him better off. What? Really? Is that true? That's incredible. Wow. Isn't that so weird? They're just like looking back in your 30 years and realising, wow, I was conned. This is such a jip. You know, you've done that guy a real service, man.
I've got a very important question for you, Adam. How did you get hold of one of those? And did you make it? What did you do?
We didn't make it. This was actually, it's off today to Luna Park to go and to see if we can give the big teeth down there a bit of a clean. It actually turned out one of the staff members had one of these sitting in their home.
Of course they did.
We scoured the internet to find one, we had one close to home.
Okay, Adam, we've got...
Look, see, again, he doesn't even address the main point. It's got nothing to do with money. The point is that there are not enough dentists in the country, and they never bring it out. It is so dishonest. This is the thing that I hate about everything that the Greens stand for. They just say things. On top of that, what the Greens are doing is nowhere near as ambitious as what the Labor Party is doing. They are rebuilding Medicare. It has been systematically privatised by the Liberal Party for the last 10 years, and they are bringing it back from the brink of collapse while he's walking around with a fucking toothbrush pretending that it can be done because you just tax the billionaires, and even though that's not the problem, and this thing that isn't the problem, that will give us more revenue, and then we could get dental care. Like, dental care into Medicare is nothing. It's like $6 billion a year or something like that. I mean, it's not nothing. It's like a fairly expensive program, but it's not the most expensive program. It could be easily done even if you didn't tax the billionaires, right? It could be done. The reason it is not done is because there are not enough dentists in the country. Not even close. He is lying about it. It is an absolute lie. And this whole thing of just like, oh, well, we'll just figure out how to get more dentists. Well, if you really care about dental care, which they don't, they just care about having something to fucking talk about on the little ABC things. They're like, it's a big toothbrush. If they actually cared, they would come up with the policy that made it so that there are more dentists in the country, which they won't because it is a very specialised degree. There is just not that many people that are intelligent enough to be a dentist that want to be a dentist. And you can't do much about that. Here's the James McGrath highlight reel. Australian Conservative Party loses in a landslide after imitating Trump. Highlight. Hang on. Go away. Oh, fuck off. Nah, it's not coming up for me.
With their takes on the Liberal Party wipeout and where to now.
Oh my God, what happened to her? She's such a ghoul. Jesus Christ. They've put makeup on a zombie.
This afternoon by former Labor Party leader Bill Shorten as
I've heard from everybody that she's an awful person. I can't remember her name.
well as political strategist and Indigenous leader Warren Mundine. Thank you to both of you for joining.
So good. Warren Mundine, strategist. Holy shit. He's got to be one of the thickest people in politics.
Yes, after a massive weekend. To you firstly, Mr Shorten, let's start with the massive rebuild ahead for a broken, completely shattered Liberal Party. Your advice to fellow panellists from the Liberal Party on Seven's election coverage on Saturday night was the party needed to move to the centre. I'm just going to interrupt, sorry. We understand the Prime Minister Anthony Albanese is about to speak. Let's go to that press conference right now.
In the Prime Minister's courtyard. And I do want to thank the Australian people for the very clear mandate that they've given my government. Today, we continue the work of continuing to build Australia's future. I promise to be a Prime Minister for all Australians, those who voted Labor, those who didn't, and hope to earn the trust of the Australian people on an ongoing basis. We are deeply humbled by the result on Saturday, and we don't take a second of it for granted.
Hang on. Sorry, again, people's just, you're so generous with your money, thank you. In a shed, $30. I was on the train from Maitland to Casino for 9 hours and got talking with two women about the Greens and Labor, showed them your channel and discussed the differences in policies and why Labor is simply better. Really? In the shed, I will try and find your comment afterwards. Please don't give me any more money, but why? What changed their mind? The government is watching your every move, not surveillance. Sharing the internet is taking my money. The damn lips again. Very good, very good. The Nationals were kicked out of my electorate of Clare. G earned a lot of my respect when he left the party over the Voice, and we kept him in rather than believing Nationals propaganda against him. Really? I thought that the Nationals were only targeting Ballarat. Okay, there you go. Well, that was very interesting. Thank you. Do you think that Albo will restore Poseidon, King of the Ocean? Cheers, bros. Look, if he doesn't, that is a wasted term. Absolutely wasted term. I mean, they're talking about the fact that he needs to be more ambitious. That is agenda number one. Do you think that Dutton looks more like a sentient thumb or a Voldemort with a nose? Asking for science. Well, I don't think he looks like Voldemort with a nose, first off. I think he just looks like Voldemort. A sentient thumb. No! Who looks like a sentient thumb? There's someone. But no, Peter Dutton is just Voldemort. He's Voldemort with a tan. Dutton mogged by Shorten.
The hard work will continue today.
Hang on,
My government has been an orderly government. We have worked hard.
Alternative content and
Anthony Albanese speaking there live in Canberra as he is back to work as the Prime Minister. We return now to Bill Shorten and Warren Mundine. Thank you to both of you for your patience as we were listening to the Prime Minister.
It's a good thing, isn't it? Like, people don't like sore winners, and Albo certainly isn't that, is he?
Minister speaking there. Mr Shorten, if I can return to my original question, in regards to where the Liberal Party went so horribly wrong, where do you think, was it Mr Dutton that he wasn't an electable leader? Do you think it was policy on the run or a combination of both? Many people are saying the Liberal Party seemed to forget about the younger Australians and also the very important female vote.
Well, it's been interesting coming back to the University of Canberra today and talking to people on campus about their reaction.
Dude, how POV is the University of Canberra? Look at it. It looks like a house on the Central Coast.
And how they voted and what they thought happened. Listen, I'm not a member of the Liberal Party, so I guess it's a bit easy for me just to offer a view from outside the political bubble, but you've got to have an alternative. They didn't make the case for change. I'm not going to pile in on Peter Dutton personally. I've been where he is, although we didn't lose quite as badly as he did. The reality is that there'll be a lot of explanations, everyone will have a reason, but you need to have a strong alternative content and narrative. The rise of President Trump, sounding anything which sounded remotely like a President Trump policy, probably spooked people a bit. But that also, I think the coalition relied on grievance against the government and the cost of living pressures, but didn't have enough of their own alternative. And when Trump is sort of creating unpredictability globally, people wanted to look who's got the better plan here. And I don't think the coalition, well, I know the coalition didn't make the case. It was a bad campaign. They didn't make the case at all.
Yeah, fair enough. My Muslim friends recently joined a union, and I asked them who they voted for, and universally they preferenced Labor. They were sympathetic towards payment, but overwhelmingly my workplace, which is highly ethnically diverse, voted Labor. Thank God. Hey, wait, was Payman up for the Senate ticket, was she? Fuck, I hope she didn't get in. Hang on, that can't be right. I fucking hate Fatima Payman with a passion. Hang on. A night to forget for minor parties on the left and right. Sucked in. Sucked in. I swear to God she wasn't up for election this time around. Hang on. Maybe we'll have to crossbench options such as independence if the Greens obstruct bills. So opposed by the coalition. I don't think that's true. I think that it's only the Greens now or Labor. Those are the only ways through to get past anything.
Monday, we just heard from the Prime Minister there, Mr Albanese, saying the Labor Party is about...
Thanks, man. Thanks for your $50, by the way. Yes, you are right about that. Look, I'm very happy to hear that. I'm very happy that they're just sort of like, but she's got a hijab on, so she's mad. So.
Respecting working people and representing working people and also engaging with business. What does the Liberal Party stand for in 2025 and moving forward?
Well, that's a good question. That's a big question, and I'll go back to just to say that this is a victory for Albanese. He's now gone into the Parthenon of one of Australia's greatest leaders. There's no doubt about it. Look at the number of seats they picked up. Look at the. Oh look, I got to give it to him. You know, I had a bit of a shot with Bill on the weekend and that, but the truth was he did run a very good campaign. It was a very disciplined, a very straight campaign. The Liberals on the other side, you know, the side that I was on, it was a disastrous campaign. There's no doubt about that. And as Bill just said then, they didn't prosecute the case. I go back to 2010 when Tony Abbott was the leader. He come close, very close to unseating a first-term government, but he built the numbers.
What do you think of the private school system? I'm training to be a math teacher in rural Australia, and they make me do placements in private schools, and differences in facilities upsets me. It should. It should. I'm telling you right now, I once went and saw like a version of some musical at like Ascombe High School. This was years ago. And their facilities were better than the Opera House. They are so overfunded. I think the whole stat was, this is all Howard era stuff, 97% of private schools in this country are overfunded, 97% of public schools are underfunded, but that is changing. That is changing very quickly. And it's just like, dude, if you're overfunded as a private school, what do? Well, you make a theatre that is better than the Opera House. That's what you do. Actually, I'm just going to see if we can find that, because it was honestly astonishing. I was just like, this is a work of art. Damn, dude. Look at that woman as well. Just like the grace and elegance. Okay, girls, let's begin. Where is it? Where is that stage? Yeah. We get it. There's so much you can do. Dude, just look at it. Dude, it's better than going to something to like the State Lyric Theatre. They're doing like Circle of Life and shit like that there. Look at all these photos. It's like, I'm telling you, if you went on the Opera House right now, their theatre shit just wouldn't be as good. Like the costuming, nothing. Look, it's just, it's extravagant. They have their own symphony pit. I went to a performing arts school, damn it. We had nothing like that. That was the thing that we had. And we had to get the seats. This is true. We had to get the seats from an old porno theatre.
For the 2013 election, where the Libs, the coalition did come to power in that election. This election, this is, I'll be quite honest, is a 6-year.
With Katter getting into his mid-80s by next election, do you see him running again? And if not, what do you see happening to that seat? Well, his son's obviously getting primed for the seat, but Katter is going to stay there until grim death, and well may he reign. Hey, I recently found out I play football soccer at the same club as Eddie Coquah. Any ideas for a prank? Do you really? Look, I'm not going to talk about that any further, but like that, I feel really bad that I'm not, because Cambo, thank you for giving me $80. That is incredible that you do. Thanks for all you did, legend. I'm from Indi, enemy territory. Yes, but convinced my gun-toting tradie brother to vote Labor. Wow. Thanks for all you do. Do you think Labor have power to tackle foreign lobbyists? Yeah, of course they do. Look, foreign lobbyists are not really the problem. I don't think that there is many problems now. I think mostly the main problem is just trying to get like all Australians on the same page and saying, look, this is the direction we're going in.
Government now. They've won this election. They've already got the next election. And if the Liberal Party isn't able to pull itself together over this first term of the Albanese, the second term of the Albanese government, then they could look at 9 years in opposition.
Mr Shorten, as we know, leadership is incredibly important, especially for rebuilding the broken Liberal Party. We all know, for the sake of democracy...
Jesus Christ, look at all those people. It's like a fucking Bernie Sanders rally. I've never seen a room like that for an election before.
We need to have a great opposition against the Labor Party. Who do you think should lead the Liberal Party moving forward?
I don't know if the next Liberal Prime Minister is even in their party at the moment. The Liberal Party, it's not just about...
Yeah. Far out. Bill Shorten gets it. He's true. Dude, as soon as he's moved out, he's just so on the ball.
About the people you put up. I mean, that's part of it. But they've got to move back to the centre. Like, at the moment, immigrants don't think they speak to them. People born after 1981 don't see anything in the Liberal offering. If you're a public sector worker, all the Liberals seem to want to do is sack you. If you're working from home, if you're a mum who works from home part-time and goes into the office the other time, the Libs spook you. Like, they've got to move back to the centre. And I think it's probably... I mean, they don't have to take my advice, they probably won't, but I think they need to have quotas to have more women in Parliament. It worked for Labor. When I was leader in 2015, we moved to 50-50. Your party...
That is true. That is honestly the reason that the Teals exist at the moment. It's just that they're throwing a tantrum, that there's no quotas. That's definitely it. I don't know what it is, but your voice sounds very close to Legend of Total War, LMAO. Don't know if anyone else can hear it. But I can. What the hell is Legend of Total War? All right, that's it.
You know, it
the coverage is over.
Legend of Total War here, and today we've got a saving a disaster doomstack, is what the guy says. Where we're going up against what looks like 4 full armies of Wissenland and Nuln. So let me just read out the email. We're going to deal with a fair bit of context with this one.
He does, hey. He kind of sounds like me if I was born in Scotland. It's a good call.
It says, "Hey Legend, I was working on an anti-armor doomstack to send you. However, I found these...
I'll say this as well. Legend of Total War...
Use an overcasted one of these. Actually... Them having low armor is going to be really beneficial for Blight Boil upgraded.
Okay, look, again, you got to stop telling me about computer games. I'm a recovering nerd. I don't ever want to get back into that shit again.
To represent the electorate down to the last decimal point. But you've got to look like the people who you want to vote for you. And at the moment, I'm not sure the coalition do.
Warren, we're running out of time. Briefly, do you agree with Mr Shorten there? Do you think we should see quotas? And who do you think should lead the Liberal Party?
Well, the big one is what Bill said in the first place, which is they've got to get back to the values and to the issues of all Australians that are out there. That they've got to actually start representing all Australians and that. And the problem within the Liberal Party that I see is exactly what Bill stated, in that if you try and do something different, you try and get to that centre, you're trying to get to different to really represent the Australian people and that. You know, I've never seen a party that expels so many people. And I'm being quite honest here and being quite open about it. Bill gave me a challenge last week, and I said, "Buggy you, Bill, you really put it to me in regard to would I run a different campaign." Look, the truth is I would have. This was a disastrous campaign. They need to get back to focusing on the Australian people and looking at them rather than navel-gazing.
You agree? It's great to see. Warren Mundine and Bill.
Jesus, how much time does Bill Shorten get on Channel 7? He's getting endless airtime on it. It's nuts. Let me be Prime Minister. I'll send the mushrooms that the taxpayer paid for. Sounds like a pretty good deal. I'm a recovering nerd as he gets back to his detailed political analysis. Shut up! I don't need to hear this. In fact, you know what? Because of that, I'm going to be leaving in 14 minutes, and it's got absolutely everything to do with that comment. Hello, Miss Jordan. Please stop ignoring my question. It's oh so very important to me. What was your question, Pat? I'm sorry that I did. I thought that I was getting all of these. Look, you also have to understand, as a recovering political nerd, like, I don't understand how the internet works at all. We can thank ScoMo's shitty performance for giving us 9 years of Labor government as compensation. That's so true, Brad. Brad, he's called it. No, I'll say this. 12. He's given us 12. Thank you, ScoMo. Legend. Become the small wargamer YouTuber you used to be. Buy Warhammer 3 today. All right, that's it. Now, here's the real game trailer. Oh my god! Oh my god! Damn. There is only one.
These two kids think they could steal my glory. We done all the hard work for them. Stick to the plan, and we'll crush them.
Wow, Jesus. Graphics are getting good, hey.
With each kill, my power grows. Who shall have his tribute but the worthy?
Oh my god, imagine doing that as a living, being the demon. Imagine your voice. He's definitely a failed heavy metal enthusiast, hey. Thoughts on build a ballot and they vote for you, surrounded by blind lib voters, but I feel like these were the easiest way to get my co-workers and family to even think about their vote. Look, dude, those things are just vote suckers. I hate those things with a passion because they endlessly just put you out to minor parties. Because it's like, look, say you're just like, do you like climate change? And you're like, yes. And it's like, you should vote Greens. Or it's like, do you hate immigrants? And it's like, yes. And it's like, you should vote One Nation. It never factors into it. All it factors in is what they say they'll do. It never factors in, is it possible what these parties are saying they're going to do? Is what they're saying a scam? I really don't like the they vote for you stuff. I fucking hate it. Because it inevitably always picks you out to a minor party. Because it's just like on your personal interests. Having said that though, look, if you got people to use it and it worked, more credit to you, buddy. I'm kind of curious, what do you think Australia is going to look like in 15 years from now? I'll tell you what. I think Australia, and this is something that I'm going to have to talk about more. I'm going to have to do a deep dive onto this and get onto my contacts because I would like to know what the grand vision is of the Labor Party now. Now that they understand that they've got themselves a second Hawke and Keating year, or really they've got the Howard years. I know that they are going to be doing a reverse Howard. Like a lot of it is just going to be reversing the deep-seated effects of Howard, which was sort of just you're creating 30% of the population that are entitled shitheads essentially through giving them handouts in Medicare, medicine and private school handouts and all that kind of stuff. Housing is another big thing. But I think that there's going to be something bigger behind all of this. Like, again, what Hawke and Keating did to this country was revolutionary. Before, when they came out, there's a beautiful quote about this. Before Hawke and Keating, Australia was a couple of towns and a sheep station. Look at it now. Look at it now. That is the direct result of the Labor Party being in power for just a mere 12 years unimpeded. Can you imagine now? Can you imagine what it is going to look like in 15 years? I'll tell you one thing for certain. The way that we make our money is going to be radically different. We're going to be a far more responsible, probably world-leading citizen on environmental causes. This is everything to do from, as you're seeing already, huge amounts of land being protected, huge amounts of ocean being protected, putting out the treaty, leading the world in the treaty of reducing plastics across the world. We're going to be an extremely responsible world leader. And on top of that, I think that we are going to be far, far richer as a result of this. Future Made in Australia is just one aspect to keep in mind. Another one that is going to be massive is the reforms in superannuation and the fact that we will have 15 years now, probably 12 years at the very least. We'll probably have 12 years of superannuation being reformed. And superannuation is the key to completely changing this country around in terms of its finances, in terms of just making the working class the investor class. That has been stymied and destroyed by, or not destroyed, but attempted to be destroyed by the Liberal Party for the last 30 years. That's going to change entirely. Look, I honestly think that you will see huge advancements in this country. I'm going to put us up in the realm of countries like your South Koreas, your Germanys. We will start looking more like that on the industrial level, you know? And we will also be like, I'm telling you now, good Saudi Arabia. That's the best way to put it. We are entering a golden age, I'm telling you. Want to see a great visual metaphor of Peter Dutton being creepy and pissed off after learning his loss in Dixon? Look up House on Haunted Hill Killer Shot and watch it 2 minutes on. Okay, I will do that. I've just got to do this like thingo afterwards, but thank you for that. Hang on. Mr. Jordan, I have a question. Would you rather eat wax for a week or live with Pauline Hansen and a hot daughter? Well, how hot's your daughter? Also, wouldn't her daughter be like 80? Probably eat the earwax for a week. I don't know. Actually, probably hanging around with Pauline would be pretty fun. I don't reckon she's a cunt, you know?
We're gonna make a killing here. If you're after gold, glory, or exotic meats, I'm your man.
So much senseless violence. Ah. What? Is it just, 2 people, is it? 2 people. 2 armies. Australia has the benefits of not having any headwinds going forward, unlike the rest of the world. Our fate is in our hands. Also, good work on the last few years. Well, thank you, Hubert. But like, honestly, I really feel like I've just been pushing up. If I can just be candidly honest with you for a second, I really feel like, as a result of you guys helping out the channel, and obviously my team, and myself, like, dude, I really do think that we have primed this generation to just be like, this is the horse to bet on, you know? And I think that we will, collectively, this is exactly the same. It's just a small version of how a union works. I think that collectively we were able to get that message out there to enough people that I'm not taking, you know, all credit for the win on Labor, like, obviously, right? Like, I'm taking a tiny, tiny, tiny slither of it. But I think that we were definitely a brick in the wall that led to this. And as a result of that, I think that we can all be proud of ourselves. I really do. I think that each and every one of you watching, each and every one of you going out and telling your family members and people all out there saying that they told the footy teams and they went over and talked to their friends and their family and their parents and whatever, that is what led to this win. And as a result of this win, it is going to be very, very hard to erode that over a single term. It's going to be very hard to erode that over 2 terms. And in the process, you have built a better Australia. The Australia of the future is going to be a far fairer, far more advanced, far more civil society than we have now. And that was because of you doing that. You know, elections have consequences, and elections that have these level of consequences are going to have consequences for a decade. You should be absolutely proud of accomplishing this victory. This is going to change the history of Australia. Anyway, on that note, I think that we should end the stream. But thank you so much for everybody that donated. That's really nice of you. I really wasn't even expecting to get any donations, and far out, you were really generous this time around. I just wanted to come on here and gloat with everybody together about Adam Bandt losing his seat. But it turned out to be much more profound than that. I think that everybody here had fun. I really appreciate all of you sitting around for 2 hours, 2.5 hours. You're all legends. Thank you once again. Anybody that contributed in this election in any capacity whatsoever, and it seems like a ton of you did, from the bottom of my heart, I sincerely thank you for it. You've done a great service to this country.